Hello and welcome to Rhetoric 7311, Rhetorical Theory. My name is Dr. Heidi Harris and I'll be your professor for this course. This video will walk you through the three main components of our course: the Blackboard homepage, Google Docs, and the Weebly course website. To begin, we've got the first page open in Blackboard. So this is what you should see when you go into your Blackboard site and you click on the link for our course. All of the buttons on this left-hand side are going to correspond to roughly the same elements that you'll see in Weebly, which I'm going to go over in just a second. So you can either enter the course from Blackboard or you can enter the course from Weebly if you'd rather come in through a website. The welcomes page or the announcements page, you'll see every time you open the class. This also sends an email to your UALR email account. And I only communicate with you through the UALR email account. I don't use external email, other Gmail accounts or Yahoo accounts. So you should check this usually every Sunday night is when I send out the welcome announcements for the next week. And it will give you assignments, deadlines, materials that you'll need to know, kind of a brief overview of each week of the course. Sometimes you'll get a video like this, sometimes you won't, depending on what the materials are that we're going to go over for the week. You'll also see the syllabus and schedule, which are linked directly in here, and the course webpage. I'm going to go over those in just a second. I want to skip down to discussions. There are two elements that are going to take place only in Blackboard. One of them are our weekly discussions, and that you're going to access through the discussions button here. And the other are the grades that you receive in the course. Because Blackboard is password protected, I need to keep the discussions and grades in this area. The grades button I can't click on because I don't have access to that. But discussions I want to go over for just a second. And I'll talk about what the discussions are going to be in the course as far as content here in a moment. But I want to talk about a little bit about how the discussion board itself functions. You'll see the first discussion is a question and answer forum, and that generates emails to me, but is a good place to add questions that you think would benefit the entire course. So if there's a problem with a schedule deadline, a due date, something with Blackboard or the Weebly site, if you post the question there, other students in the class will know that question's already been asked. So if you have a question yourself, you can post that there. You can also subscribe to this forum, and I'm going to click on and show you how to subscribe to a forum. Click on that main link, and then you'll have a subscribe feature right here. If you click on subscribe, what that does is it tells Blackboard that anytime anyone posts a thread in this forum, you need to receive an email notification, and you'll be able to click on a link in your email and go directly to Blackboard to that area so you can see what the question was. Also, when I answer, same thing will happen. You can choose to subscribe to that one or not. It's up to you. But the ones that I would really like you to subscribe to are your weekly discussion boards. Those are a little bit different than the question and answer forum because they ask you to subscribe to links rather than to the entire forum. So let's say for my introduction, I'm going to want to subscribe to my own introduction so I know when people responded to me. I'm going to click on the forum and go in there. I'm going to create a thread. Notice there's no subscribe feature because you don't want posts every time someone posts something in this board. And I'm going to introduce myself. There's the assignment itself. And of course I'm going to write more than that eventually, but this is just for test. I'm going to click submit to submit that. And once I submit it, it's going to show up in that discussion board. I'm going to want to go back into that thread. And once I go into my individual thread, then I'll see that subscribe function up here at the top. I'm going to click on that subscribe function. And now that I'm subscribed to my thread, anytime anyone responds to me on that thread, I'll get an email notification. It's just a good way to keep you from having to go back into Blackboard over and over just to check to see if someone has responded to you. And that's going to be a key point in our discussions later when I talk about it in the syllabus. So that just shows you how to do subscribing for those threads. That's about all for Blackboard. Most of the content of the course is actually going to be hosted in either Google Docs or Weebly, and we're going to go over those next. I'm going to move into Weebly first because that's going to be the content of the course. This is our Weebly page. You can also access that page by clicking on the course webpage link right here. That'll take you to that same place if you lose the course or not sure where where it's located. And you can also bookmark that in your browser. If you want to enter the course each week directly through this page instead of having to go into Blackboard, you can do that as well. The outcomes for the course are listed here. Each week we have a weekly lecture. You see those are already laid out. Not all of these have content, but all of the links are there. Here's the assignments. Again, not all of the content for those is there either, but the links are there. By the time you get and see this and walk through it, most of the content should probably be there. Technology, this button just walks you through what you should have for the course. Reliable internet access, your UALR email account, access to Blackboard, reliable document storage, and some other products that will help you complete the course. Be sure that you go over this and have all these installed and ready to go at the beginning of the course. The grading policy is pretty straightforward, A, B, C, D, and F. Here's some notes about late work and what you need to do if you need to get a higher grade in the course, and go ahead and read those. The one thing I will point out is that you're allowed one late submission for any reason. Use that wisely. You probably want to use those for the higher points assignments if you kind of get stuck, rather than the lower points assignments. Other than that one late pass, I don't accept late work for a grade. You can turn in late work, however, just to get the feedback in the course. These are the policies, my policy and the UALR policies. UALR policies are pretty standard. You see those on most syllabi. But the Netiquette policy for my course, I'd like you to review before you start the course. It basically says that you need to use correct spelling and grammar, which is kind of a no-brainer. Make sure that your name is somewhere on discussion boards and emails so I know who you are, and that you provide concise and descriptive subject lines. And that's for discussion board. When you go in and respond to someone else, change the subject line instead of having the same subject line over and over, and that will kind of help students who are navigating through those discussion boards to understand what the content of your post is. And finally, the schedule's linked in here. I'm going to go in there and click on that and show you, because this is a Google Doc, what that looks like. So this is the schedule for the course. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I'm just going to show you that right now because I want to go back and show you the syllabus. The syllabus is linked in two places. Here's one place, and here's the other place. Either one of those will open up a Google Doc, and that has the content for the course. Make sure that you review the syllabus in full before you start the course so you understand what we will be doing in the class. First, it gives you the course description. This is a graduate course. If you've taken the 4,000, 5,000 Theories of Rhetoric course, this course will probably be significantly different from that course. It's a 7,000 level course. It's much more theory intensive than the 4,000, 5,000 level course. The readings are going to be a little bit harder to get through. That's okay. We're going to work through them together and do some discussions that will hopefully make them a little easier. The rationale, even if you're going into the professional and technical writing tracks or the nonfiction track, it's really important to have a firm background in rhetorical theory, because understanding how people communicate, how people use and view language will be important to you as an effective technical and professional communicator or nonfiction writer. The course outcomes are here, and those are tied into each assignment. So you'll see on your discussion board rubric the course outcomes listed, Objective 1, Objective 2. And that ties right back to this syllabus here. This is what you should be doing throughout the course and have somewhat of a mastery of at the end of the course. There are 2 required texts in the class. There were 3 in a previous version of the class, so if you wind up with the 3rd one, let me know. It might still be listed at the bookstore. The first text is, let me get the right one, Contemporary Rhetorical Theory. It looks like this. Mine's got a lot of tabs in it. This is a pretty standard text. You should be able to find it used online. If not, the bookstore will have it. And A Synoptic History of Classical Rhetoric is our other text. So either one of those texts should be in the bookstore, or you should be able to find them used if you're not using a book voucher online. The other readings are going to be linked directly into the reading schedule for the course. So I'll show you that here in just a second. The assignments in the course. So there are basic descriptions of the assignments here. The reading summaries will be elaborated on in your week 1 lecture, and you can also watch this video for a demonstration of how to use Google Docs to complete those assignments. The reading summaries will happen during the weeks that we have readings, basically. You'll be asked to summarize the text, and I'm looking for a straight summary. Here are the key points, not necessarily a reading response. So I'm not as interested in these summaries as about how you feel about the reading or what it made you think about or any kind of associations you made in the text, unless I specifically ask you for that. What I'm really looking for in those reading summaries is that you really understand the main points of the readings. The discussion board is where we can talk about associations. We can talk about the parts of the text that we're having trouble with, things that are really inspiring to us. So the discussion board is going to be a much more open forum for having the same kind of discussions we would have in class. Things that confuse us before we write that reading summary, we can work that out a little more thoroughly in those discussion boards. One of the points I wanted to make about the discussion board is that engagement is essential. This is a graduate seminar course, and even though we're not face-to-face, I will expect you to operate as if you're in a seminar. So if you take a graduate seminar face-to-face, a lot of that graduate seminar is discussion. So consider this class similar to that. It's a good idea to take a couple of nights a week or a couple of days through the week and go in and check the discussion board, or even if you can take half an hour on a lunch break and go in and check and do some discussion, that's going to help you understand the material much more thoroughly than trying to rush and do it all on Sunday night. It'd be the same thing in a seminar face-to-face if you rushed in at the end of class in the last 10 minutes and tried to discuss everything for the whole class. It's not going to work as well as some sustained engagement, a couple of hours over the course of the evening. And another point I'd like to make is that sometimes students who have really busy schedules tend to put everything off to the weekends, and then they have 1 or 2 posts that don't really engage. They're just kind of thrown up there. Those are not going to get you a passing grade on discussion boards. Passing grades, high grades on discussion boards mimic that kind of discussion we have in class. So if you'd imagine walking into a room full of people and just saying a sentence and then walking out, that's not a discussion. That's what happens in a discussion board if you just walk in and post one post and then walk out again. Same thing is true if you were in a discussion in a face-to-face class and you asked a really thoughtful question and everyone ignored you and went on. In discussion boards, if people ask questions, answer them. If people have questions, answer them. Think of it as a real discussion, because that's going to be the real heart and key of understanding these texts, or participating in the discussion board. We're going to have a few mini rhetorical analysis papers, 2 actually, to kind of practice the concepts for our final project. And I'll have the full descriptions of that up on our Weebly course website when you're ready to review those. And then the major project will be the rhetorical analysis. And in total, this is 40% of the score. It's broken down into a proposal, a draft, and then the final essay. And we're working on that the last 4 to 5 weeks of the course. You're going to propose and complete research to perform a rhetorical analysis of a major artifact. We'll read example research, rhetorical analysis in the class, so you'll have an understanding of what that means. The rest of this material is what is replicated on the Weebly course website. So this is just a printable copy if you need that for a binder or notebook. I know some of you print off and keep things like that. So we've already been through that. There are links throughout that will help you getting started with Google Docs and with other elements of the course as well. So you'll want to click on and watch those as part of getting familiar with the syllabus. The class schedule is the next thing I wanted to go over. It's linked in here and also in your Weebly course website, but I want to access it through Blackboard. So the schedule serves a variety of function. It kind of keeps us on track with what we're going to be doing in the course. It gives us our assignment due dates, and the due dates are only posted here. They're not actually posted in the assignments. Most of our due dates are going to be Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Every once in a while I might ask you to turn something in a little bit earlier, but not very often. Most due dates are Sunday. All of your readings are posted here. If they're not links, they're going to be readings in one of our textbooks. If it's something that's online, so this is a website, the Sophis, or if it's a PDF that I've linked in, that link is going to show up on here. So any readings that aren't in your textbooks are going to show up on here. And pay close attention because sometimes you have 2 or 3 readings. So this week you're going to have 3 readings. The spacing just is kind of smashed together there. The readings are essential to the course. Please do not skip the readings. If you know you have a hard time with reading, you might plan ahead to do the readings Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday would be good because you're going to want probably Thursday, Friday, Saturday for more extended discussion and for drafting that document, the reading summary for the week. So the earlier in the week you can get those read, the better. And I'm going to send out the course email pretty early so you can get started on that even ahead of time if you have the textbooks. So this is the schedule. If you print it off, obviously you're not going to have access to those links, but you should always be able to come back in here, click on those links, and get directly to the content that we're going to be reading. And I'll do an example of that. This is our reading on aphasia. That should come up, and you should be able to print that. They should be pretty clear PDFs. If you ever have trouble with a PDF or a link, please let me know, and I'll go in and fix that for you. So the last thing I wanted to go over is Google Docs. All the email communication for the course will happen through our UALR UALR email, but UALR is also a Google school, which allows us access to a suite of materials called Google Applications, which you probably will already be familiar with. This is going to be how you're going to submit most of the documents for the course, other than the discussions. So if you go into your UALR email, you'll see this little icon that looks like a Rubik's Cube up here in the right-hand corner. That'll be a test of how many of you understand what a Rubik's Cube is. So if you click on that, you'll get this app suite. And one of the apps that you have access to is Google Drive. Now you can use this for any of your courses, not just our course. It serves a variety of functions. It's a storage space, and it provides you with Google Docs, which is a word processing application, Google Sheets, which is similar to Excel, Google Slides, which is similar to PowerPoint. But what we're going to look for are Google Docs. So you're going to click on Google Docs. You'll want to create those in the course, and it's going to give you basically a word processing editor. So if you don't have Microsoft Word, don't worry about it. You won't need it for this class. The first thing you'll want to do when you go into your Google Doc is name your document. I have about 60 students. If every student submits a submission every week and they're all titled Untitled Document, that gets really confusing for me. So the best thing to do is to first go and click on that Untitled Document and rename it with the title of the assignment. So let's say you're doing the first reading summary. You're going to name that the 1.2 reading summary and your name. Click OK. That renames the document here, and then you can type. Type. If you want to create a hyperlink in your text, you want to link to an outside site, or you want to add a source, you can just highlight one of those words, go up to this little icon that looks like a chain. It says Insert Link if you hover over it. Click on that, and then you can copy and paste a link into here. So let's say I wanted to copy and paste in a link to Blackboard, which probably won't work, but I'm going to copy that URL right there. I'm going to go back into my Google Doc, and I'm going to paste it into that area, hit apply, and that creates a hyperlink. Once I'm done with the Google Doc and I'm ready to share it with my professor, with my classmates, I'm going to go up to this right-hand side up here, click on Share, and I'm going to type an email to send this to the person I want to share it with. So in other words, I'm going to share it with me, and I'm going to use my outside email because I'm in my UALR email. Select that person's name, and then click Send. You won't get that message because they're not outside the system, but basically it's going to show you that that's shared with one person, and when you go back in there, you're going to see the people that it's shared with. What Google Docs allows me to do is go directly in and make comments on your document. So you're going to want to make sure that when you share it, the comments feature is enabled. Most of the time that's going to be automatically enabled in Google Docs. When I go back in, I'm going to highlight on this. I'm going to go up and add comments to it. And then what you can do as well is once you get a comment, you can go back in, click on that comment, and type a reply. So So we can actually have a little dialogue around your document directly in Google Docs. And you'll probably receive a notification in your email when I'm adding comments to your document as well. I think that's all for this introduction to the course right now. What I'd like you to do now to get started is go to our course webpage, go to the weekly lectures area, and go to the week 1 lecture. That's going to provide you with information about the course in general. Some of it will be a little bit of a repetition of this overview, but it gives you specific directions of what to do step by step to complete the reading summary, and it gives you your week 1 reading summary question. Every week you'll have a question to kind of help you digest the information and material in the course, and this is the one for week 1. You'll see a little icon that directs you to that. If you have any questions about the course, please contact me. Email is the best way to get a hold of me, haharris@ualr.edu. I don't answer my phone in my office very often, but if you leave a message there, I usually try to check that about once a week. Email is by far the best and fastest option for reaching me. I'm really excited about the course. I hope you are too, and I look forward to seeing your introductory posts and getting to know a little more about you. You can go view my introductory post as well, where I'm going to put a few more personal details about myself. So have a great day, and I look forward to a great semester. Bye.